In the opening scene of Trade Your Love, we hear a man narrating how he was dumped by so many women. They even leave behind cryptic messages for him. However, things changed when he met a new girl. He had a great moment of sudden revelation. After meeting her, it was like he had a hole in his heart. He desires to be with the woman who changed him, and that includes her kids. To achieve this, he would have to give up everything. And by everything, that means that he needs to give up his inheritance. However, what's a happy home without any money? But they need money for a comfortable life. He gets thinking and realizes that there's a way he can get that money. But the plan requires an accomplice. A lady also narrates her dilemma. She was a track and field star who ran fast and flew high. However, an injury put a fatal dent in her promising future career, making it crash. This caused a great problem for her life because the track was the only thing she knew, and when she got injured, her life came to a standstill. She didn't even know when she turned 30 with nothing to show for it. While she is thinking of what to do with her life, her family thinks her new age is an indication that it is time to settle down. She is frustrated. In the next scene, we see the two narrators meeting at a restaurant. The man, Young Sung-seok, is the heir to an airline, while the lady's name is Park Hee-ju. Hee-ju wants them to skip the pleasantries and go straight to business. They are both on a blind date to pacify their families. She suggests that they stay there for only 30 minutes before they leave. While waiting for time to pass, Hee-ju dozes off, and Sung-seok checks her history online and reads about her career as a track and field angel who was forced to retire due to an ankle injury. He sees the injury on her ankle and feels sorry for her. She wakes up after 30 minutes. He tries to give her a lift, but she claims to have an appointment nearby and takes her leave. However, the claimed appointment is at a blowfish eatery. She orders a bowl, only to be told that each serving is for two. She looks around disappointed, because she really craves the soup. Just then, as if the universe decided to fulfill her wish, Sung-seok walks in and reads the menu. Immediately she goes to meet him, informing him they only serve for two. Then she orders straightway without waiting for him to talk. He looks at her in disbelief. When their food is served, she digs in. This is when he reveals that he is there for a different dish, but she claims the regular stew is much better, and she will pay for it. Left with no choice, he joins her in drinking soup. In the next scene, they have consumed several soju bottles, and the alcohol is already taking its toll on them. She complains about how men treat girls like babies, using her 3 older brothers as an example. He decides to explain his predicament to her. His father is filthy rich, but he's leaving his entire fortune to his stepmother and brother. However, if he gets married, he will get half of his fortune. She advises him to get married, and he asks her to marry him. They laugh at his suggestion. Her mom calls her phone while he comes up with an idea. They both agree that Korea is boring, so he suggests that they get married and leave Korea, then live separate lives. She receives several messages from her brother hounding her to try and get married. She doesn't understand their obsession with her getting married, so she asks Sung-seok if he thinks marriage brings happiness. He believes it does not. Even though she is super lonely, she does not believe that marriage is the solution. He advises that they should not lose hope in marriage, because even as he has experienced a lot of heartbreaks, he has found someone at last, but she has some baggage. He knows his father will never allow the union, especially with his mom in the USA. What he needs is someone to form a contract marriage, and he asks if she has any friends. He will provide the lady with a house abroad, and he will never come around with a monthly stipend. The marriage doesn't even need to be registered. Hee-ju suddenly gets an idea with his proposal. As they walk home, she suggests that they embark on this fake marriage together, which they both stand to benefit from. He gets to be with the woman he loves, and she would be free from her family's nagging about marriage. In the process, they would both get money and love. This sounds fine to him, and they agree to do it. 1 month later, they both meet with their parents and lawyer to finalize the terms of their marriage and sign the prenuptial agreement. Afterward, Sung-seok's stepmother approaches him. She can't believe that he is finally trying to get married. He replies that it's impossible to fake marriage, but she believes there's some time before the wedding. She can't believe he is for real. When his father joins them, he asks that he keeps his promise, now that he has done what he demands. His father angrily tells him to get his marriage registered first, even when he comes up with the excuse of not having the time to get it done. Meanwhile, Hee-ju's mom and brother are worried about the prenuptial agreement. She assures them that it's just a formality with the rich people. Sung-seok's father apologizes to Hee-ju's family for not treating them to lunch because he is busy. He suggests they meet over the weekend, but the fake lovers know this could jeopardize their plans. So they come up with the excuse of going for a photostat and meeting with friends over the weekend. Her brother thinks meeting with her friend is not a bad idea, and Sung-seok's father buys the idea. So they conclude that they will meet over the weekend with her friends. When the families leave, they lament the turn of events. She returns his ring before they go their separate ways. In the next scene, it's D-Day for Sung-seok to meet with the woman he truly loves. He picks up her son, Hiro, but the boy refuses to acknowledge him as his dad. Instead, he angrily walks away from him for being late, and they drive off to meet the woman of his dreams. He finally gets to Hae-jin's place, and he meets her decorating a cake. She is focused, and he wonders why she doesn't take breaks. She listens to his advice, and they go to take tea. He shakes his legs, and she asks why he is excited. He shows her the matching bracelet she got for him and is about to reveal what he has been wishing for when her son calls out to her. She immediately leaves him mid-speech to attend to him. The boy has made a mess inside, and she goes to clean it up. While she is cleaning, he commends her for raising her son and running a successful business simultaneously, but he feels bad that her son doesn't like him. He tells the boy that if he is in their lives, his mom wouldn't have to work tirelessly, and he would be happy too. Still, the boy refuses. He reminds him of how he has always been buying him cookies, toys, and anything he wants. Seeing what is happening, Hae-jin tells her son to go outside for some coloring. When her son leaves, she mentions that there is something different about him. He promises to take care of her and her son, so he proposes that she come with him to France and train to be a patissier. She looks at him with no iota of excitement on her face. To prove that he is not making empty promises, he shows her the engagement ring. However, she reveals she is not sure of making that move. Although she is happy being with him, she has to consider her son. She assures him that she can take care of herself and appreciates him for everything, leaving him dumbfounded. Meanwhile, Hae-ju heads to the school where she lectures, and she is feeling elated with the luck that has shone on her. It feels like she won the lottery. The students admire her as she walks by. This contract marriage proposal has come as a relief to her father, and it has also given her time to figure out her life. She meets with a senior professor and submits her resignation, as her contract is about to expire. The professor wonders why she is rushing, and still can't get over the fact that the wedding came out of the blue. She suspects that she decided to get married to save face, since her contract won't be renewed. Not wanting to dwell on the issue, she claims that's why she is getting hitched. When the professor goes to give her her recommendation letter, she sees the research paper she wrote on her desk. The professor has claimed it as her own, and she is very angry about it. Later, she receives several messages and a call from her ex-CO, but she declines the call. He is trying to get her attention, but she is avoiding him. Meanwhile, Seo is in Hae-ju's friend's bar, drinking and crying. He bears his heart out to the bartender over the unrequited love. When Hae-ju arrives at the bar, her friend Suk Ma-yeon quickly draws her aside, telling her that Seo is inside shedding tears of love. While Sung Seok is driving, he receives messages from his dad asking for the details of their dinner. He meets with his friends Ki and Sina, and reveals that Hae-jin turned him down. His friend wonders why he is desperate for a single mom, when he has everything he could ever need. Sina, the lady with them, thinks he has a true love for Hae-jin. This concept of love sounds silly to the guy, and he reveals he can't wait to divorce his wife. He stops Sung Seok from eating peanuts, which he is allergic to. He reveals that he will continue with his fake wedding regardless. Sung Seok walks home with Sina and asks if she would like to follow him to France, since she is interested in learning more about wine at the winery. He already has a place she can stay, and she would feel comfortable with him. She scoffs at how simple life is for him, and how he can make a spur-of-the-moment decision. She sends him home. Sung Seok goes home and meets the wife of his friend, Mrs. Ki, waiting for him. She is drunk, so he sends her away. He also reminds her that nothing happened between them the previous time, and that he is getting married. She is shocked to hear this. She suggests that he marry the lady and get a divorce, so he can be with her, since she is getting a divorce too. He forces her to leave. In his apartment, Sung Seok thinks about Hae-jin, and wonders what is holding her back from accepting his proposal. The next day, Hae-ju goes to meet her coach on the field, to inform him that she's getting married. She hands in her resignation and heads to the embassy. That night she goes to meet her friend Suk Ma-yeon and her ex-husband at his bar. She is unable to join them to eat, because she is fasting for a test at the embassy the next day. She looks at them relating like lovebirds, and wonders how they are faring as divorcees. They reveal that there is no longer pressure on them to get remarried, since they have once been married, but they are labeled as damaged goods. Moreover, it's embarrassing for them to get married again. Hae-ju ends up lending her friend's car. The next day, while driving to meet Sung Seok, Hae-ju receives a call from her second brother Hae-myung, who has just arrived. She is shocked because he shouldn't have arrived yet. It's too early. He informs her that their third brother will be arriving, and they will be having a family dinner that evening. He tells her to bring her fiancé, and she hangs up in frustration. This is not how she has planned the whole fake wedding. Things are beginning to get serious. When she meets with Sung Seok, she keeps thinking how things are about to get crazy with the arrival of her brother, so she informs him that they have a problem to deal with. Her second brother, who is eccentric and chatty, has arrived earlier than expected. He assures her that he knows how to handle the situation, because people tend to like him. She wonders how things are going with his girlfriend, and he lies that he has everything under control. When she is called upon, Sung Seok chats with Hae-jin, asking what he did wrong to offend her. Sina calls him, informing him that she has accepted his offer the previous night, and will go to France with him. She doesn't care if he has a fake wedding. She promises to take care of herself, and allow him the freedom to do whatever he likes with his life. She simply wants to do what she wants with her own. That is why she has accepted his offer. She threatens him not to think of backing out, because she has recorded their conversation. Then she ends the call. Sung-seok cannot believe how he made such a proposal to her, but now he's in a fix. In the next scene, Hee-ju shows him the terms of their contract, which states that they will live 5 kilometers apart and get divorced in 3 years. He accepts the deal, and they sign it. Later, Hee-ju joins her family for dinner. Her brothers make fun of her for being in love. She thinks about how she will have to deal with her first brother with his pregnant wife, her second Italian-based brother, and her third Hawaiian-based brother, who has now arrived. She can't believe she has to deal with their drama. Meanwhile, Sung-seok is also having dinner with his family. His brother Ju-seok isn't interested in his wedding preparation. Their father explains that getting married makes one mature, and having kids means all your thinking will be dedicated to one's child. This makes Sung-seok make a sarcastic remark that it's the same way their father focused on his own child. His father asks if Hee-ju is available the next day, so he can buy her some clothes, but he reveals that she has an interview at the French embassy, and she doesn't like luxury clothes. He gives an excuse for her availability at another time, making his father angry. He suspects Sung-seok is planning something, and warns him that if he messes up the wedding, he will not get a dime from him. In the next scene, Sung-seok packs his bag and sees his mom's picture. He wishes she could meet the woman he is with. Hee-ju continues the dinner with her family, who are excited that she is getting married. They are looking forward to the dinner between the two families. Suddenly, they suggest that Sung-seok joins them for dinner right away. So one of her brothers tries to text him their location, so he can come over. Hee-ju immediately comes up with an excuse that he is busy because of the wedding preparations, so they suggest the next day. When they insist, she is forced to call him in their presence. She calls him to explain the situation to her brother to him, and he also reveals that he wants to buy her clothes the next day. They are in a fix, so they agree to meet that night and get to know more details about each other. This way, they can flow easily in front of their families. He suggests they give themselves nicknames, so they can appear close in front of others. When he suggests that her nickname should be Piggy Ju, she angrily suggests that his own be Douche-seok. She is scared that the meeting would be disastrous, because her brothers talk a lot, and he is quite the chatterbox. She advises that he answers their questions with yes or no, otherwise they will keep digging until they know everything about their relationship. He also reminds her that his father is quite stubborn, and tends to raise his voice, so he pleads that she bear with him. He advises her to pick something expensive when he takes her shopping, because his father loves spending money. However, his stepmother is a bit harder to handle, but she is in her world when shopping. Her only concern should be pleasing his father. The next day, Hee-ju meets with Sung-seok's father, and she is surprised to see him alone. He reveals that his wife has gone to a church event, so it's just them. They begin shopping, and she reluctantly selects a pair of heels because she doesn't wear them. He suggests she pick another pair, which she doesn't want, so she suggests that they pick a pair for Sung-seok instead. After shopping, he invites her to have lunch with him. Meanwhile, Sung-seok arrives at Hee-ju's place for his meeting with her brothers. He meets each of her brothers, who are excited to see him, but he is very nervous. Her first brother refuses his help, because he is their guest. However, the Italian requests that he help him. He piles many dishes on the tray for him to carry, but they get his clothes dirty. Later, they get him a change of clothing and drink. They wonder why all his answers are either yes or no. When asked what he likes about their sister, he struggles putting words together. He calls her passionate, even though she is headstrong, and isn't sweet like some women. The brothers wonder how that attracted him to her, but they later believe that he is her fan. He lies that he is. They are all happy to hear it. They show her medals, and even wear them. They reveal that their first brother was her handler, who sacrificed his dream for Hee-ju. He even helped them achieve their dream of going abroad. Sung-seok also claims he watched her competition, until she had the ankle injury that ended her career. The brother gets sad, and reveals that they don't ever talk about her injury, especially since their mom is around. He apologizes. In the next scene, Hee-ju runs the track and tries to put the pain of losing her career behind her. Her coach meets at 3 and suspects she is worried. He advises her not to run away from her pain, but to face it. He gives her wedding present before leaving. At home, she sees that they are shoes. Sung-seok has also finished having dinner with her brother, and they appreciate him for coming. While in his car later, he calls his mom, asking why his life is so messed up. However, she is working because she is not in Korea. He assures her that her troubles are about to be over, but she doesn't understand, because she believes that her life is good. He wonders if he ever regrets marrying his dad, but she doesn't. After all, the marriage gave her her son. She blames herself for him not wanting to get married, but she has been happy lately after she heard the news. She advises him to open himself up to her, and always put himself in her shoes. In the next scene, Hee-ju receives flowers. Her friend can't help but wonder how their fake wedding appears so real. Meanwhile, the groom is playing virtual reality games, and doesn't know when his friend Sina calls him. The couples go for their pre-wedding pictures, and it is quite awkward for them, since they are not a real couple. While they are taking the pictures, he mentions that another woman is on his mind, while she is staring at his cleft. During the session, they are exhausted. Sung-seok receives a call from Sina, who demands some assurance from him. She wants to hear directly from Hee-ju that their marriage is contract-based before going to France with him. so she shows up in person to their shoot. Sung-seok is shocked to see her. He introduces her to Hae-ju as a friend who has come to support him, just like her friend Ma-yeon. Their next set of poses is quite intimate and awkward. The two friends of the couple watch on the sidelines. A message from her lovesick ex comes in, and she quickly comes up with a solution that will make him leave her be. She takes selfies with Sung-seok and sends them to him, telling him that she is getting married. The final shoot is with their friends. On their way to the family dinner, they plan what they will say. Ma-yeon is tasked with acting as someone who has an allergy, so the couple will grab her and head to the hospital. That way, the dinner will end abruptly, so no one can bring up the topic of their marriage registration. Inside, they plan their sitting arrangements. However, it doesn't go as planned, because when their families arrive, they sit anywhere they prefer, pushing them out of the way. The couple end up sitting beside each other. Sung-seok's father brings a rare wine with insects, and proceeds to serve everyone, beginning with his in-laws. He makes a toast to the couple, and wishes that their marriage lasts until the afterlife. They are forced to drink the wine. One of Hae-ju's brothers notices that something is off with Ma-yeon, who is scrubbing a cup aggressively. He wonders if she is sick, but she replies, "Not yet." Back at the dinner table, Sung-seok's stepmother asks Si-na what she thinks of the couple. But while she is struggling to put her thoughts into words, Ma-yeon interjects, answering that they are a match made in heaven. It is almost time for Ma-yeon's grand performance, but the couple is not with them. Hae-ju tells Sung-seok to stick to their plan and not argue with his father. He complains that his father and her brothers talk a lot. As if on cue, her brother starts singing loudly. He decides to go solve the problem. However, when they get back to the dinner, they are surprised to see more guests. His father's Air Force Academy Jr. and his airline's finest pilot, Major Ki, and his wife Mrs. Ki. His father invited them because he is Sung-seok's friend. He is shocked because it is Mrs. Ki who has been bugging him about having a relationship with him. She steals a knowing look at him as she sits. He goes back out, and Mrs. Ki follows him. He asks why she has come, and she answers that she missed him, and she is there to get a look at his bride, which she calls her rival. He is frustrated, and she gets angry when he calls her Mrs. Ki. She wants him to call her by her name, Soo-young. He pleads with her not to drink, because it is a very important night for him. She makes him promise to be at her beck and call in Paris by recording him, but unfortunately Si-na overhears them. Sung-seok meets with Hae-ju, because it's time for their little drama with Ma-yeon. They hear a commotion outside, and the disruptor turns out to be Seo, her ex-boyfriend who is lovesick. Her friend did not allow him to enter though, and Sung-seok marvels at her taste in men. They ask her to call him and lie that she will meet him elsewhere to distract him. He happily takes the bait. Back at the dinner, Seo comes back because he forgot his wallet, but he sees Hae-ju. He is shocked that she lied to him, but he is too drunk to accuse her. Sung-seok tricks him outside. He tells him that he knows everything about her. Since they slept together, he believes they are a couple. Seo begins to cry when he remembers that Sung-seok is the one in the picture she sent to him. He tries going in, but he pulls him back, and he falls unconscious. Hae-ju quickly runs to meet him, and they drag him into a room. Finally, they proceed to show their pre-wedding picture to the guests before they end the dinner. The guests believe they are a match made in heaven as they see their pictures. They get a surprise cake from Major Ki, which was delivered by Hae-jin. On seeing him, the cake drops from her hand, and she can't utter a word. They wonder if he knows her, and to avoid answering this question, Ma-yeon tries acting out their planned drama, but Si-na decides to reveal their secret. She advises Hae-ju to acknowledge it, and tells Sung-seok to forget about them going to France. A drunk Mrs. Ki wonders how many women he has promised to take to France. Sung-seok's father slaps him angrily, and demands an answer to the drama unfolding. Hae-ju's brothers also want to know what is happening. Everything gets disorganized and the whole dinner turns into chaos. Sung-seok chokes on the peanuts he ate in a rush. Hae-ju decides to speak out. She explains that their marriage plan is all fake. Sung-seok's father takes him to the hospital in an ambulance. Back home, Hae-ju's mom assures her that everything is fine, and her happiness is what she wants. Seo finally wakes up, and is surprised to see himself there. In the next scene, Hae-ju and Sung-seok meet up at a restaurant, and they are now closer. She shows him the penalty for breach of contract, but suggests that they split it in half. She returns the engagement ring, for him to use in his real wedding. As for her mom and her brothers are still in shock with the whole event, and she has the freedom to live life on her terms. Sung-seok is also relieved that he has the freedom to make his choice. They give each other a lucky hug for the future and part ways. Hae-ju goes back to the track to continue to run at her own pace, determined to take it day by day. Meanwhile, Sung-seok goes to Hae-jin's place hoping to try dating her again. This time with no secrets between them.